Welcome to our new series, The 200 Movie Challenge. Our goal this year is to watch 200 movies that we haven't seen yet. If you want to listen to the full podcast where this clip is from, the link will be in the description. Now enjoy today's movie.
The first movie that I have up this week. So I've already seen a Donnie Yen film earlier this year. The heck was it? Kung Fu something?
Yeah, somehow has a ton of views on out of everything, like 1,800. It's
Kung Fu
stupidly
Killer.
insane. But yes, you have.
It was like revolving around like a serial killer that knew Kung Fu and only Donnie Yen could stop them. Cool movie on premise, and I was like, okay, then a little bit disappointing, but still, if you like Donnie Yen, it's cool. So I was like, okay, Donnie Yen, all right, let's see what Donnie Yen's up to. So I checked out Prime. It's usually the only place where you can find martial arts movies. Martial arts as a genre is incredibly hard to find these days. I don't have an easy time finding it. Amazon Prime is the only place where I can actually look up martial arts movies, and they'll have like 36 Chambers, like Shaolin shit, like all that stuff's there. So I saw a Donnie Yen movie called The Prosecutor.
Okay.
Now, most of Donnie Yen's movies are, he's a police officer of some sort, outside of the Ip Man movies, but he's, most of his regular Hong Kong movies, he's a police officer, and he usually inflicts violence on people. This movie took a little bit of a different turn, and I'll share my thoughts after I'm done as far as what I'm thinking he wants to do afterwards, but who knows. But he plays a cop in I want to say Hong Kong. If I'm wrong, please flame me in the comments, even if I have enough listeners to flame me in the comments. He's a cop, but he realizes that he's getting a little long in the tooth to be doing the running around and arresting people thing. So he wants to be more part of, the actual judiciary process. And so he leaves the cop life behind and decides to go to school and study, and he becomes a prosecutor in China. Now, I will tell you this. I have absolutely no fucking idea about the legal system in China at all. I don't understand I do get the concept of guilty and innocent, yada yada yada, but I don't understand the nuances of the legal system, and I think that's where kind of this movie gets lost a little bit because as he goes into his journey, he becomes a prosecutor. He ends up getting involved in this case where this kid he gets basically caught with drugs, and if you know anything about China, that's not a good thing. He gets caught with drugs, and then the way the defense lawyer said it, like they offered him a deal, and so he took the deal because they said it would be better for him because then he could get out on leniency. But then turns out they like misinformed him. He was gonna have to spend more years in prison, and then like his uncle that was already old, like he couldn't have him be there because then he wouldn't be alive by the time he got out, and so he changes his plea to try to get a reduced sentence, and then they actually end up adding more years. So he went from like serving 7 to 10 years to like 27. And so Donnie Yen just sees this as a great injustice, and so he starts rubbing the wrong way against the established like prosecution system that's in China, because he's like trying to do the right thing. And so you're like, wait a second, this is a Donnie Yen movie. Like, is there martial arts in it? Yeah, there is. Eventually, it's 2.5 hours long, by the way. And there's not as much martial arts action as you would think from a Donnie Yen movie. It almost felt like just the way that it turned out and the way the movie ended, like that Donnie Yen wants to create a TV show where he's the prosecutor and just like does this kind of thing where he like stands up for what's right in the world, and he's always the light. Like he has a mug that being like, the light within will never go out or some shit like that. It's very like positive. But there's only really one climactic martial arts fight, and it takes place at the end where he's trying to get a witness to the court. And, of course, on the subway train, all the bad guys are trying to silence the witness. And so Donnie Yen has to kick all their asses on the train. And that was done really well. but it's a long movie. I liked it. I enjoyed it as much as I got lost in the minutia of the law bullshit. I know Sarah fell asleep while watching it, and I don't blame her. But I thought, I enjoyed it. I thought it was way too long. I don't know if I'd watch a TV show of this, and I don't know what Donnie Yen is going to do moving forward. He directed this as well, and directed the choreography of the martial arts, which I thought, again, was really, really well done. But it was way more procedural crime drama than a martial arts movie. And procedural crime dramas to me are hit or miss. I mean, I don't even like Law and Order in the United States. Like when I think about those kind of movies, like A Time to Kill or like A Few Good Men, I like those types of movies. Um, but they're few and far between. So I think that just the fact that it had so much to do with like the Chinese law system that I don't understand, with very kind of little martial arts, I think would turn off a lot of like traditional Donnie Yen fans in this film.
Interesting. Yeah, because so even just looking at like the thumbnail for it, I was just like, oh, this just looks like guns, action, Soto type of movie. Just
what guns in action. I guess there kind of is, but
no,
not that much.
but I'm saying with the thumbnail because it's just Donnie. Because all I see is Donnie Yen holding a gun, pointing it at. Again, I'm just going off the thumbnail. Is all I'm saying before you even said anything. Because when you told me, I'm like, oh, okay, Donnie Yen. This makes sense. Martial arts, blah blah blah. But no, you kind of got something legal too. So yeah. Oh.
Where would I put this? Right?
That's the question. And let's see if this gets 1800 reviews like his other one. Which I still do not know.
I don't understand. And I'm sorry if you do watch this and I butchered where he's from. Don't sue me. I don't get paid for this. So where I'm thinking about this. So what I'm thinking about this. Ooh, it's fallen. It's fallen down. Actually, you know what? I think that I enjoyed this a little bit more than Insidious: The Last Key. So I'm going to put this at 79.
Oh, way down there. I was seeing what Kung Fu Killer was. Could you have that at 64 currently? I'm like, all right, let's go down.
I had action.
Yeah. And I was like, up, down. But yeah. So right above Insidious: The Last Key, right underneath The Conjuring: Last Rites, so the prosecutor sliding in, dividing a couple horror movies.
Yeah, I think that's the area that it kind of deserves to be in.
Okay. So these are the only two John. Yeah, from what you told me. And it's 2.5 hours. I mean, I know I just talked about
it didn't need to be that long. It didn't need to be that long. And again, for a lot of this movie, I didn't understand what was happening. Well, because I don't know anything about Chinese law, right? I mean, I don't know if you do, but in your spare time, you study like how the law works in China. Like, educate me. But I feel that I don't mind a movie that's a little obtuse or a little bit hard to understand. It was way more understandable than Tenet, I'll tell you that much. Because Tenet, I still don't understand what the fuck was going on in that movie, but I enjoyed it. So a lot of it, I didn't get like in typical American sort of law movies, you kind of have an idea of like when something good happens in court, right? Like I can reference, My Cousin Vinny, right? Everybody knows My Cousin Vinny. Everybody's seen it, and Americans can kind of follow along with the wins and the gotchas, right? Because we kind of have a sense of the American judicial system. I have no idea what the hell is going on in China. They wear wigs.
Wait, what?
Like British people. Well, kind of like how British people wear these like kind of white sort of powder wigs. Like they do that in their like nowadays in China, I guess. I don't know why. I mean, I'm sure that's something that's being colonized by the Brits at some point in their history, but I'm not that smart. So I didn't understand a lot of what was going on, but had decent action, but I will probably never see this again.